Playoff baseball is here, and you all know what that means. It's time to be disappointed in your favorite team. Whether you made the playoffs or whether you're the Colorado Rockies, only one team is going to go out and win the World Series. So all these other teams are going to disappoint you in some way, and I'm here to tell you how your team will disappoint you in October. Now, one of these predictions is going to be wrong because someone hypothetically has to win, so let's just have some fun, okay? Don't be too mean in the comments. Also, if you like my content and want to see more, consider subscribing. If you're on a TV, which I know a lot of you guys are, I'm looking at you right now on the TV. Just hit the button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You don't even have to leave full screen to subscribe. Only 2% of my viewers are subscribers, and we gotta get that number up. Come on, I want to get to 20K before the end of the playoffs. Let's go. The Toronto Blue Jays. Pitching. Chris Bassitt is injured right now, and before his injury, he wasn't pitching too well. Max Scherzer looks like he might finally be washed. He has over a 6 ERA over his last 7 starts, and he can't get out of the first inning repeatedly. Kevin Gausman has had some pretty significant playoff struggles throughout his career, but he hasn't had too much time to fix that. Kevin Gausman is still a monster, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was not a big deal this year. Jose Berrios was sent to the bullpen, and now he has an elbow injury. Trey Savage is a monster, but he's a rookie, and rookies kind of always scare me in the playoffs, especially pitchers. The bullpen, apart from Brendan Little, is really just not very good. Trevor Hoffman at the back end of their bullpen, oof, he messes up a lot, and they blew countless saves to basically ruin their division lead, and now they're tied with the Yankees with 2 days left when I'm recording. I don't know who's going to win that division. Shane Bieber is awesome, and I still do overall trust Kevin Gausman, even though I mentioned the playoff struggles. And they do have a really good offense, especially if Bo Bichette comes back. They might be able to do it because of the offense, but I don't know, the pitching scares me a lot, and if they don't go far, that's what's going to be the death of them. The New York Yankees. Playoff demons. The Yankees are fairly complete in terms of a playoff team. I think they have a solid rotation. I think they have a solid bullpen, even though I don't know, they like to blow games, and I think their offense is good. I am still worried about the bullpen, like I just insinuated. They blow a lot of games. I don't know what to say. They're not that great, even though they have the names to be good. They don't win with the bullpen. Homers do win playoff games, and that's what the Yankees do, so I think that they're in a good spot there. They strike out a little bit too much on offense for my liking, however, and they've just repeatedly struggled in October, other than when they play AL Central teams and they dominate them. Max Fried has an above 5 ERA in October, and Carlos Rodon has above a 6.6 in the playoffs as well. Not to mention, Aaron Judge has been awful in October throughout his career. The Yankees, they just gotta overcome their demons, because apart from that, they should be good. They really should be good in October. The Cleveland Guardians. The magic came a little bit too early. We always see a team go on a magical run, but since the Guardians have lost 2 of their last 3 games now, did their magical run just come a few weeks too early? Now, if their run didn't happen, they wouldn't be in the spot that they're in. They wouldn't have even made the playoffs, but it's hard to continue a magical run for almost 2 months straight. So because their magical run just happened, I'm kind of worried that it's ending now, and we see this all the time. The Rangers went on a magical run, and then they lost 8 in a row because it just stopped. The roster doesn't have enough starting pitching, in my opinion. Gavin Williams is solid, Tanner Bybee is okay, and Parker Messick has been good, but again, rookies scare me in October, and I saw the Red Sox beat up on that guy. I don't know if he's only been facing bad teams consistently. The Red Sox kind of hammered him, so I don't know. The offense only has 2 players with an above 100 OPS plus, not even Steven Kwan does this year, but the Guardians tend to do well in October. Who knows? The Detroit Tigers. I'm not exactly sure if this team is going to make it yet, but they probably will. However, they've been bad for 2 straight months. If they make it, the historic collapse might not be happening, which will be a breath of fresh air. I'm sure you can cut the tension in that clubhouse with anything you want because of how tense they are, obviously. They blew a 15.5 game lead from the middle of July. Again, that just can't feel good, so if they do end up in October, at least they have that going for them. They didn't fully collapse, but I don't know. The bullpen is not very good in my opinion. They don't hit a ton of home runs, although Torkelson and Riley Green hit a lot of home runs. Kerry Carpenter and Gleyber Torres as well. They're actually not that bad in home runs. And outside of Tarek, the rotation isn't great either. Casey Mize is fine as well, but I don't know. They're kind of okay everywhere, but good nowhere except ace, and that's not really a recipe I like. I like having a strength going into October. The Boston Red Sox. The injuries. I don't like playing the injury card, but the Red Sox have had so many injuries that are really detrimental to the club. If they were healthy, I think they would have had the talent to win the American League. However, they're not, so I really question it even as a Red Sox fan. Tanner Houck was awful this year, but he is out. Dobbins and Fitz were two pitchers that were young and they were good. They're both out. Tristan Casas hasn't played basically this whole season with a knee injury. Bello and Giolito look like they're running out of gas, and they have made up that three-headed monster with Crochet in the rotation all year. Marcelo Meyer got injured, and the biggest of all is Roman Anthony. The Red Sox are a completely different team with and without Roman Anthony. Of course, they also traded Rafael Devers, but with Roman Anthony, the Red Sox were like 20 games over 500, and without him, I think they're one game under 500. They're a way better team with Roman Anthony. He's one of the best players in the game. Him getting injured really lowers the ceiling of this team, in my opinion. The team might still be really good. I think they can still beat basically anyone, but it just matters if they do it or not now. The Seattle Mariners. They're cursed. This Mariners team, on paper, is the best team in the American League. I don't think that that's a bold claim. I fully believe that. The bullpen is crazy, the offense is crazy, and the rotation is crazy. What more can you ask for? The defense is not great this year according to a bunch of metrics, but they still have J-Rod in center field, they still have Cal Raleigh behind the plate, and they still have JP Crawford, who's won a Gold Glove at shortstop. I think they're still an okay defense as well. Seattle, however, is cursed, and I don't know if they're ever going to be able to break that playoff curse. They've never been to a World Series, not even when they had the best record in MLB history. Can playoff Randy Arozarena show up? He probably will. What about the clutch time Josh Naylor? He's normally very clutch as well. And second half J-Rod, does that extend into October? I don't really know. We haven't seen much of this team in the playoffs, but they should make the World Series if they are not cursed. They're the best roster in the AL by a lot. They're very good. But they're the Seattle Mariners. That's their biggest detriment. It's their team name. The Houston Astros. They're going to miss the playoffs. That's the reason why they're not going to go on a run. The Astros love playoff baseball. They're very good at it, but they're going to miss. They're really struggling against the Angels as I write this script, and as I record it, they lost last night, so I think they basically need to win out and they need the Tigers to lose out, and I don't think that that's going to happen, and they might actually be eliminated. I really don't even know. If they do make it, the pitching injuries are really going to hurt them. Not having Luis Garcia, as well as Framber Valdez just caring more about hitting his own catcher than being good at baseball now, that doesn't help either. No Yordan Alvarez because of an injury really hurts them. Trading Kyle Tucker and letting Alex Bregman walk, those losses also hurt them. The dynasty might finally be over in Houston, but it was a very impressive one. It's time for the National League, and we're starting with the Philadelphia Phillies, Zach Wheeler injury, and the bullpen realistically. The Zach Wheeler injury makes their rotation go from incredible to just really good. Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez, and Jesus Luzardo, and Aaron Nola as well, could get it done, but they're really missing their playoff horse in Zach Wheeler. They're still my favorite to win the World Series. I think an offensive Bryce Harper, Bryson Stott, Kyle Schwarber, it's just too good to sleep on, especially if they get Trey Turner back as well and JT Realmuto plays like we know that he can. The bullpen is bad, especially in middle relief. I'm worried about. Johan Duran and Matt Strahm are a nice back end of the bullpen, but not having Jose Alvarado because of the PED suspension early in the season, that's a brutal loss for October, it really is. The Milwaukee Brewers, not enough power. In the playoffs, you win baseball games on home runs. That's just the tried and true method. You need to hit some home runs, and the Brewers don't hit very many. If Jackson Chourio can tap into his power, Christian Yelich can be good Christian Yelich, then guys like William Contreras and Andrew Vaughn can hit some home runs for you, you could still definitely win. They've had a very good record against teams above 500 this year, so they're good against playoff teams, and pitching also is still really good, but the Brandon Woodruff and McGill injuries at the back end of the rotation are brutal. And Milwaukee just hasn't been that good in the playoffs overall. But this team, it's pretty special. I could see them going on a run for sure. The Chicago Cubs, the slumping lefty all-stars, and I'm talking about Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Matthew Boyd. PCA has been bad since the break. Like, really bad, worst player in baseball bad. However, he's been a little better the last week or so, and so has Tucker, who has been injured consistently since the break and just hasn't been that productive when he's been on the field. Matthew Boyd, who isn't that good at baseball, also fell off a cliff as well after being an all-star in 2025, and that's what I'm most concerned about with this Cubs team. But Dansby Swanson, Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, and Michael Busch, they could still have a good offense if things go right, especially if PCA and Kyle Tucker wake up. The bullpen is okay, but they got a little injured. I'm pretty sure Daniel Palencia, their closer, is out for the rest of the year, and the rotation also is not great, but Shota Imanaga is insane, of course. I don't know, the Justin Steele injury is also really gonna hurt them in October. I don't know, this team's okay. Cade Horton also got hurt. I haven't seen an update on him, but if he's out, yikes. This Cubs team, it's good. I'm a little worried. The Cincinnati Reds, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I think they are tied for the final wild card spot with 2 games left with tiebreaker over the Mets. But I think my biggest thing is that Elly can't really carry them right now. Elly has not been good for a while now, although again, he's starting to lock in a little bit more with the power stroke, which is really good for them. Their rotation is scary good. Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, and Andrew Abbott is a very scary trio for the playoffs. Their bullpen is shaky at best. I think Emilio Pagan has been really good this year, but I don't know, it's a shaky pen. And the rest of the offense is scary too outside of Elly De La Cruz. I trust Matt McClain, I trust Spencer Steer. Jaime Candelario is pretty good. Jaime Candelario. Why did I say Jaime Candelario? I meant TJ Friedl. TJ Friedl is pretty good. Noelvi Marte seems to have that clutch gene. I don't know, they're okay. I feel like they're a weird team that could go on a run if they get in, but I don't think anyone's betting on the Reds to win the World Series. They're just not quite ready yet. Oh boy, the New York Mets, just look at what they've been doing. The reason for them is just look at what they've been doing. The entire rotation is rookies, and that scares me in October once again. McClain and Tong are both good, but I don't know, who's the horse? Who's the ace of this playoff staff? You kind of need an ace to win the World Series, and I just don't see an ace on the New York Mets. Clay Holmes is solid, but again, is he an ace? No. I don't know what's happening to this team. They can't win. They just lost to the Marlins last night. Their announcers basically called them out for being the worst team of all time last night. The Marlins were basically emoting on them, including their announcers who were saying, oh, we're way better than the Mets, we're way better than the Mets. It certainly looks like it. The Mets look awful. The offense should really be good. It really, really should be. Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso. It's very, very talented. They're not winning. They're just not winning. It's just an absolute collapse. They might also miss the playoffs right now. If the Reds win the next 2 games, they do miss the playoffs. The bullpen, it's also bad, even though they traded for Ryan Helsley, who also is terrible. Either way, the Mets have collapsed. They're not going to win the World Series because of their collapse. The San Diego Padres, the Phillies, and the Dodgers. The Padres just have to deal with the NL gauntlet, and sometimes they win that gauntlet in October, but it's not easy. Not having Joe Musgrove really hurts them for this stretch, and I don't think that Michael King is back to 100% yet either. Fernando Tatis Jr. has not been hitting for power recently. That's got to change, although last night he did hit a grand slam. October Nando might be coming back, which would be awesome. It's awesome to see Bogarts back as well. They got Jackson Merrill back after an injury scare. They're pretty complete on paper, especially that bullpen, which is easily the best bullpen in baseball. So they can beat anyone. It's just tough to beat the Phillies and Dodgers, but the Padres, they're a really good team, and I think they could do it. And finally, the reigning champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I gotta go with that bullpen. Oh god, the Dodgers bullpen. It's pathetic. Tanner Scott cannot do anything. Seems like Blake Trinan can't do anything. Alex Vesia, I think, is their best player out of the bullpen right now. Michael Kopech, he came back and it looks like he's walking every person that's ever stepped on a baseball field, and they're even putting Clayton Kershaw in the bullpen. We know about his playoff struggles, so that's even scary as it is, even though he's the future Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best pitchers of all time. They're a scary team to face for sure, especially with the offense of Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, of course, all of this stuff. Even playoff Kike Hernandez and Max Muncy, they're problems, but I don't know, they just don't feel as good as the Phillies and maybe even the Mariners or Padres right now, but LA tends to find a way. If you watched the end of the video, please subscribe. You clearly like the content, you want to see more, subscribe. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one.